He's ringing the bell.
I can hear.
Strange to hear it. Three times at the Sanctus. Once at the Hankita. Three times at each elevation. I used to know the whole goddamn rigmarole.
Good morning, Father.
Morning, Father.
Good morning.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry it still smells, but at least now it only smells of disinfectant.
Celia, I'm a good Catholic, but I'm subject to gout.
Oh, I see. Well, if you can't manage to get to the church, I might be able to arrange to bring the sacraments to you.
Oh, thank you indeed. But I always say if a man can't be a good man without going to church. Celia, this is our new priest, my wife.
Senora.
I'm sure we'll make him very welcome.
Yes, I'm sure we do.
And this is our little Silvanito. He's 6 months old. Do you think he looks like me?
Well, it's always hard to tell, I think, with one so young, you know. Certainly one can see.
Some chocolate for the father.
Well,
I'm
what a
afraid
wonderful
you will...
beauty.
No, after you,
Please
Father.
go on.
I'm afraid you'll be wasting your time in Cantana, Father.
Oh, I hope not.
Would you say you had a large congregation this morning?
No, I would not. But I believe there are special reasons for that. Apparently, Anacleto is not very keen on church-going.
Anacleto. Everything bad in town is laid at Anacleto's door. Well, he's certainly wild.
Didn't strike me as wild.
This is something which has grown out of all proportion, these tales of Anacleto. People lie, and they thieve, and if you pardon me, Father, they fornicate. If a house burns down, or a wife runs away from her husband, or a child breaks its arm, it's all Anacleto's fault.
You suggest he's harmless?
He harms no one who does not harm him.
I wonder if you'd tell me now, to what extent are you allowed to keep order here? I mean, of course, Anacleto.
He gives me no trouble. I give him no trouble.
So he rules the whole town by force and collects
Anacleto
illegal
doesn't
tax.
need to use force these days. The people are content to let him have his way.
And you don't feel called upon to do anything about it yourself?
Now, don't you worry. I give a lot to put him behind bars. But no police force can protect a town that doesn't want to be protected. No one complains about Anacleto, at least very seldom. Even then, the complaint is always withdrawn, and that particular person never complains again.
I see.
We get no information, no assistance. If we act on our own, everything is done to hinder us.
And what about A for Arietta, B for Beltran, C for Carranza? Now, don't you believe those were murders?
I'm sure they were, but I couldn't prove it. Not without witnesses. However, that's all a long time ago. Nothing really serious has happened here since, several years.
Hello, Loche.
Hello?
I've come to see your father.
What for?
I want to talk to him.
That won't get you far.
Why not?
Because when you go in, he'll mark his place in his book with a finger. And then if you go on talking, he'll sigh and put a bookmarker in and close the book. But he will be only waiting for you to go away again, so that he can go on reading.
I told he's a great reader.
Yes. Or if you want to talk, Mother, we'll talk for hours. She won't say anything, of course, but he'll pass the time for you.
I don't think you ought to talk about your father and mother like that.
Would you rather I told you lies about them?
I do not envy you your task, Father. You see, I am Anakleto's accomplice because I pay him protection money. If I didn't, my daughter might be kidnapped or worse, my wife robbed, my house burnt to the ground. I'm not prepared to take these risks, and I think it's much better to say so frankly.
I've just been talking to your daughter outside.
Locha. Yes, I'm afraid Locha's left a great deal on her own. You see, around here, there's nobody who's suitable. She's very reserved. My wife can't get a word out of her, and there isn't very much she has to say to me. Oh, here is my wife. My dear, I don't think you've met Father Keogh.
Why, no, I haven't, but I certainly am pleased to meet him now.
Senora.
Please be seated, everybody. Pedro, you haven't offered the father a drink after that long walk up the hill. What would you care for, Father?
I'd like a glass of beer, please.
Well, did you get anything out of it?
How do you know I wanted to get anything out of it?
Of course you did. You wanted to ask Father if he'll help you fight Anacleto. And the answer is no. I could have saved you time if you asked me.
Do you think Anacleto needs to be fought?
Of course. He's the bad one, isn't he? But he's a man. And it will take another man to fight him.
Perhaps something else can fight him. Something much stronger than Anacleto.
Oh, you mean God? I don't think God worries his head very much about this place. Goodbye.
Will I see you at Mass again soon?
Maybe. I don't know.
Now you've got 3 more stacks. Each night another one will be burnt down till the money's paid.
But, senor, I'm poor. I have no money.
Much better to pay and get it over.
But...
Anacleto! Anacleto!
Good evening, Father.
What's going on here?
We were trying to put out a fire, weren't we, Marco?
Yes, senor.
We were passing and we saw it flare up. Came to try and put it out, but I'm afraid it's gone too far. Never mind, Marco. You've got 3 more stacks. You'll see they don't catch fire, won't you?
Yes, senor.